Alright, spawning in the bottom left. In the blue, he is representing Good Game Gaming. Give it up for Patience. And his opponent in the bottom right. In the red, he is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. The online king, he is Cure. What I need to figure out is why in the world the intro music's not working. It apparently it occasionally just likes to glitch out, I guess. But, well, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. As we do here it's a new map. This is, actually I've seen some really cool TVPs on this map thus far. It is fairly droppable, but the slow zones make it slightly less so. Although there are, of course, spots in the main base and path that you can take that really avoids these slow zones. There's actually unless the Terran goes and explicitly builds a supply depot, there's actually a fairly decent amount of dead space within the main base here that Stalkers can kind of blink up on and do some special agent Stalker shenanigans. And the expand patterns on this map are really cool too, because it's very easy to expand pretty far away from your opponent, and the map really opens up as the game does go on. It starts really small, it starts really pushable, it starts really siegeable. But as the game does go on, well, I'm not sure we should talk about the game going on here, because Patience, this is a sneaky little probe here. And has he taken his, was that a 16 gas? This very well may be the parting build that we're going to see coming on up here based off of this probe's positioning. Not convinced yet, but it is going to be a proxy of some sort. So, but anyways, we talk about the late game. Because that's what we care about, right? It's not the proxies going on in, it's not the bunker showing up behind the natural that Patience is going to be a little bit unenthusiastic about. Oh, it's going to be proxy Stargate, okay. But hey, the bunker's going to go down. And we will need to see a shield battery on in here. And actually, I don't know whether, yeah, okay, the shield battery should be in range. Or should be there should be range to place a shield battery that will keep the Stalker in range, as the Stalkers do work on killing this down. But this is money that Patience did not want to spend, right? He wants to get that. He wants to get whatever he's going to come out of this Stargate. Most likely an Oracle. He wants the Oracle to come on out rather quickly. He wants to come out as quickly as possible, so doesn't want that second Stalker. But anyway, he's going to have to, because otherwise he's never going to be allowed to mine from his natural base. And I don't know about you, but I very much prefer being able to mine from my natural. So now with the two Stalkers here, the shield battery just about done. Well, that's going to be rather easy. We'll get cleaned on up as, well, more and more probes are getting made. But it looks like, yeah, the probes are already getting main-arted over, and the bunker's going to be salvaged. But look at this. Okay, so Patience says, you know what, Cure? That was a bit annoying of you. So what am I going to do? I'm going to proxy two more gateways. And, well, it's going to go into a 3-8 plus Stargate pressure coming on in. So the goal here, actually, of this pressure is going to be to knock down as many Marines as possible with the Oracle. Although, I mean, right now he's getting some income damage, and that's always nice. But if he could kill, like, 5 Marines, that's going to be rather nice here. And then Wood of Mine, okay. Wood of Mine will be able to prevent that from getting any more damage. But 4 workers for an Oracle in this matchup, not terrible. Alright, so Cure, is he going to scout this with this medevac? So it's going to be a Wood of Mine drop coming on in, and Cure will just barely scout that gateway. The question is whether he actually saw it. It's now the second Oracle is going to fly on in here. Marines, of course, there are 4 Marines in the mineral line, but you do want 5. And yeah, there we go. So, a couple gateways on the way. We do have this drop coming on in on the right-hand side, but yeah, Patience should absolutely have vision. Well, actually, yeah, he had a Phoenix. This is a rather weird middle-of-the-road build coming on in from Patience here, and he will not have vision of this, so we're going to have the drop coming on in now. Is Patience paying attention? Yeah, he is. He's going to be totally fine with that. Sacrifice 1 probe per Wood of Mine, of course, because that is the standard. And with this Phoenix out, I mean, this third one should not get anything done here. There we go. We're going to see the lift Stalkers kill that off. No big deal. But we do have this gateway that was proxied, and Patience has not been allowed to do anything with it. There's a second one of my drops going to come on in now. But yeah, Patience has not been allowed to do anything with this whatsoever. Wait, is there an armory? There is. Oh, this is oh, that's cool. This is armory Widowmine drops, and while the Widowmine's going to go off here and get some pretty much the best possible damage, now we're going to see more drops coming on in. And this is like actually the best possible build, because 9 times out of 10 you just don't. Oh, there we go. It's going to be safe with the gas. But 9 times out of 10 you don't see, or you don't see the robo getting skipped this long. As we are, well, we're waiting. The third base has gone down, and still there's no robo. So this is actually making life rather hard for Patience here, because you know he's not he is energy based detection, right? He does have an Oracle, sure, and he will eventually be able to reveal this stuff, but well, not for the moment here. Now look how much damage this Reaper's getting. This is just so much damage here for Patience, and oh, the Widowmine in the main base, because Patience took no damage from it to start. He kind of forgot about it. 8 workers will go down. And this Reaper is getting so much damage done. 3 total STV kills or probe kills. And look at that, he will survive. And yeah, we have this proxy to set up here. It also is going to go down. Cure is just in a fantastic position here in this game number 1. And now we will have a bunch of Stalkers, and they will find this army, but I mean, this is not a warp-in position anymore. It's only 2-gate pressure at this point. And do we have Blink? Not yet. Blink is only about halfway done, so it really just feels like Patience, everything he's going for is just a little bit desynced, and that's kind of unfortunate, right? He's going for this, and he's trying, but Stim is going to be done before Blink is. And, well, Stim is the natural answer to Blink Stalkers, so I'm not exactly sure what you're going to do without Blink, because now we have the Reaper's going to dive on in. 2 more workers do go down. And are we going to see this one repowered? Looks like that answer is no. Now, Stim is done. +1 is done. Combat shields, well, they're not done yet, but they're getting pretty close to being done here. And yeah, Patience now does have Blink. He has charge on the way, +1 on the way. And he's adding the additional gateways he needs to really make something happen, but I mean, Stim and a bunch of Marauders, these Stalkers cannot stand and fight. So, Patience, he's going to be forced back on up here, but I mean, Cure is very interested in taking this fight, and I don't blame him. So he will find this army, and, you know, honestly, Patience blinking pretty well. And he's doing a good job of making sure that he does not die to this. But the army supply, it's already 20. The army supply gap is already 20, and it will continue to grow as Cure really gets on into his 2-base timing, because that's what this is. 3rd base is done, sure. But, oh, well, that's a dead Phoenix. That's a very dead Phoenix. I love this though. So Patience keeps trying to rebuild the pylon, get some additional mining or get some additional production out of that. But every time Cure just finds it. He says, "Okay, this is free money for me here." So once again, he will find this army. As Patience is very interested in dropping pylons on the other side of the map. That is something I can say for him here. And well, Cure's going to be forced to stim through here, and if he wants to get the good concave, actually with the slow zones, that does make it rather difficult to fight in the middle of the map here. But we have more Widowmine drops coming on in. The one in the main base getting 8 probes. The one in the natural. Okay, Patience will have the proper pull for this. So only 1 more. But I mean, 9 workers. And is there a robo? We do have a robo. Do we have observers though? We don't. This is, I think, I've seen the longest a game go without observers. And yeah, there's cannons coming up, but these the Widowmines will reset anyways. So this is just Cure showing his absolute dominance in this matchup. Did that get any more workers? No, it didn't. Oh wow, they both went off again, and I guess they both went into assimilator shots. That's unfortunate. The Widowmine shots continue as 2 more will go down, and oh, I guess one of them died and one of them repositioned. But anyway, now we're gonna have another drop coming on in, one into the 3rd base that will not be successful. And now with cannons on up, it makes it a little bit more difficult for this to accomplish on anything. As well, that just gives Cure license to move across the map. He says, okay, I got a fairly good idea of what you're going for, my friend. And I know it's not a lot. I know I'm sitting here roughly around double the army supply of you, and I have better upgrades. Because, well, this Widowmine on the main base going undiscovered, gonna get 5 more workers. So this is just, I mean, Patience is just slowly bleeding out at this point. He has taken 1,000 paper cuts, and unfortunately, some of those paper cuts were more like gashing wounds. As now, well, time for Kira to exert his influence on the map for real. I mean, yeah, he's been getting a lot of drops, but this is where he actually says, okay, time to kill you now. As again, he does have a 30-40 army supply lead. Now, these force fields are going to be really nice, and Kira will be forced to pick up and drop on top of that. But he also does not have the upgrade lead, so that is something that's going to make him a little bit sad here. Just remember, he did have that upgrade lead when he first started moving on out. But now most of the force fields have been spent. Only 2 more are left, and that just gives Kira license to micro wherever the hell he wants. One Immortal is going to go down immediately, and I mean, the whole position just gives him license once again just to kite. Right, to force fights where Patience doesn't really want to take a fight. And in this big, wide open area, the Terran absolutely has an advantage with his concave, but no, it looks like Patience for the time being will hold until the next rally of Kira finds its way across the map. And, well, this is a rather short rally distance, surprisingly enough. So Patience here now on Blinkstalker Immortal, which is not a composition I would prefer to be in when my Terran opponent's at 175 supply. As now the Immortals are going to get targeted on down here. Yeah, we'll see some Zealots get warped on in, but the Widowmine shots are good, and GG, Kira. He's going to take game number 1. Here we are spawning in the bottom, in the upper left, in the blue. He is representing Good Game Gaming. Down 1 game in this tournament thus far. Give it up for Patience. Yeah, Cynical Death, when I go click on the link under Alpha X Anki's, under Anki's stream, the hyperlink to that is the trovo.live/BeoMulf, or trovo.live/Alpha X SC2 stream. But anyway, spawning at the bottom right. In the red, he is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming in a tour de force in game number 1. The man, the myth, the legend, he is Kira. Thank you, O Grand Master of Team Liquid Things. I do appreciate it. Because, of course, those of you that are not aware, Cynical Death does some awesome stuff on the Team Liquid editing front. Make sure all the tournaments are set up to date. And, well, just is generally a pretty awesome dude. So, shout out to him. And, of course, as we sit on in here getting ready for our game number 2 to start, well, we should mention the fact that there is a Matcherino attached to this tournament. It's a $1,250 tournament to start, but of course you can add on into that if you use the code Ignition6. That adds 50 cents for free. Please make sure you do that, everyone. Go on and do the sponsor quests as well; those are also free. And you can also buy the replay pack. I imagine I have not had a chance to take a look at that one yet. So we do have a rather interesting SCV out on the map here, and it looks like it will be Hellion drops coming on in from Cure here on the right-hand side of the map. And this is actually a rather atypical position to go on in and to really put your starport. So yes, starport on the map for a Hellion drop, that's not all that weird. But putting it this far across the map when you're building your Hellions at home does seem to be a little bit advanced. But on the flip side, it's most likely not going to get scouted. And the air rush distance is actually going to be rather good. But look at this Patience. He is opening straight Phoenix in this game. This is no Oracle into Phoenix, and we're certainly not seeing any Blink Stalkers. So honestly, actually, Patience should be in a fantastic position to hold this. Once he gets up to 4 Phoenix, guaranteed no damage. But realistically, even before that, he'll be able to lift 1 Hellion, lift 2 Hellions. And the damage number is, of course, 3. But look at this. Cure's overbuilding Hellions. Normally, you build 3 Hellions, because that is what you need to one-shot probes. But no, Cure's going to go on into 4. And what that means is even with these the Phoenix here, he's going to have to lift, well, he's going to have to lift 2 to ensure that there's no damage taken. At least it requires 2 Hellion volleys, and only 2 Phoenix will be out. So where are our Stalkers? We have 1. It looks like it's in the natural. So yes, Patience will find that. No, he won't. Never mind. So yeah, Cure's just going to be able to dive on in here. Hellion's going to go on down before they show in division. And now this first shot, it's going to be a juicy one as 2 workers will go down immediately. And yeah, we see the lifts, sure, and there are 3 Phoenix out, but actually, okay, then never mind, we're going to be fine. 6 workers do go down. Magic number is probably about 9 now. Generally, we're looking at 8, but it's an additional Hellion, so we're going to have to see about that. But yeah, no, 7 workers go down. Patience, you know, would he prefer to take no damage? Sure. But he is still ahead of his opponent on workers, although just marginally. And you know what? He did damage by killing off all the Hellions, and I believe he got the medevac too. No, he didn't. Okay, where is the medevac? Did the medevac find? Oh, the medevac did find its way home. Interesting. But I love this, right? We do have the, we have a Viking coming on out, and yeah, the Phoenix are just going to camp on into that one. They say, yeah, no. You don't get to build anything here, but actually, no, this is really cool. No, wait, this is such an interesting bait here from Cure, right? Because he's dropping across the map, and he's continuously building and canceling production structures here to keep the Phoenix on the other side of the map, because now there's a drop on into the natural. Recall is going to get forced. Cure, you brilliant man! And yeah, sure, it's only going to be 3 workers because there's a shield battery overcharge. Actually, no, it's going to be a couple more than that. So 4 or 5 workers will go down. And yeah, we will see a lift on in there now, because there's not enough DPS to cut through the shield battery overcharge. But 6 workers go down, and Cure is brilliant. Yeah, he will trade a starport for it, so I'm not really sure how useful that is. But man, what a cool move there from Cure. Just really baiting the entire army for Patience to still stay there across the map. And now, while Patience is his turn to try to get some damage done, it looks like he will stay on 5 Phoenix. He's going into the traditional Phoenix Colossus style from this point. Now, what I think is rather interesting here is we will be able to get that Cyclone off and knock down a fairly significant amount of anti-air defense. What's rather interesting about this style that we've seen, ooh, look at this, we're going to get the tanks too. Now, Patience is actually getting some significant damage at this point now. He will be forced to back on up because, well, there's still a bunker and he does not have blink and nothing that he can have happen with that. What I think is really interesting is players like Stats have started to really overbuild on their Phoenix count. So if you're Stats and you're playing Phoenix Colossus, you're actually going to go up to like 9, 10 Phoenix instead of the 5 that have been that magic number. What that gives you is a guaranteed lift on all the tanks. It gives you more worker damage potential. Things like that. As did we lose a Phoenix? Oh, apparently we did lose a Phoenix. I did not see any. I didn't think I saw any go down in that last fight, but I guess one did when he killed off the both tanks. But again, 1 Phoenix for 2 tanks. Yeah, that's totally fine. But anyway, quote-unquote overbuilding Phoenix like that does allow you to go on in and to get guaranteed lifts on top of all the tanks when the push is happening, and you just have a lot more utility, a lot more worker damage potential, all of that, and I do tend to like it. That being said, though, no, Patience is going actually the most traditional style, where every time you lose a Phoenix, you don't rebuild it. So this is actually going to be rather interesting. It means there will only be 4 Phoenix on the map when the eventual push does come. But of course, that does mean you get into your Colossus just a little bit faster. There is already 1 on the map, second one just about done, and now the Gateway Explosion is happening. Patience can support that on 3 bases now. And, well, we're just going to have to see what happens with what I assume to be a push here from Cure. As he did go into +1 stim combat shields. His third base was built... Well, actually, no. I guess this was a 430 third base, not a 7-minute third base. So he's going to be pretty fine here. Pretty happy with how this game is. And we're seeing a 4th base get added. So this game a whole lot more passive than game number 1 was. And it's almost like someone told Cure and Patience, hey, we need this series to go long. We need the next 2 series to go long because it's only a 3-person group at this point. And our broadcast has to be at least 2 hours. So thank you very much for Cure, for Patience, for helping us accomplish those goals. As this one Marine is going to try to get something done here. Is it going to sprint along, get a couple workers? Actually, it does look like it got 2 probes here. So the most value Marine I have ever seen. Wait, is that going to continue to get damage done? Okay, it won't. Never mind. The Adept will find it. But of course, behind this, we do have a Ghost Academy on the way. We have a Tech Lab, or excuse me, an Armory on the way. So Cure is going to be in a good position to get on into his upgrades. Does he have double eBay now? He does. Okay, so we're going to see 2-2 on the way here eventually, as we have a bunch more. Man, that is so many more missile turrets. Is Kier just making very sure that he takes literally 0 damage from any Phoenix ever in the course of this game, but honestly, Patience not doing a lot with that anymore. He says, okay, time for my 4th base. 4th base is done. Here, finishing up right as, well, the 4th base hasn't been taken yet, but they finished up right around the same time in terms of the production structures. But Patience, he will be down an upgrade. Actually, he's down an upgrade right now, but will continue to be down an upgrade for most of this game as he went his 2nd forge a little bit slower than we saw the second eBay there of Kier. Oh, and he will find the observer that just happened to be wandering on in. I don't think that observer was in the scan to start, but unfortunate there is now we got some posturing on the center of the map here. 3 Colossus is a powerful force, especially with +1 and extended thermal lance, and there are no Vikings on the map right now. This is just a pure bio force, which, well, pure he's going to have to be active on the map with. It's really hard to take a straight up engagement against multiple forms of Protoss splash when you don't have Vikings and when there are Colossus on the field. Yeah, so when it's just pure bio. But, well, that does give you agency on the map. It does allow you to do a whole lot of stuff all over the place. As now, well, +2 is going to be, or +1 armor is going to be done here. +2 attack is going to be done rather soon as well. So it's going to be interesting. Cure for our Patience in about a 30-20 seconds is going to have a 1 upgrade lead. And then, well, eventually Patience will have an upgrade lead. So kind of interesting, the asynchronicity there is that we do have the fight to get kicking on off here, but with the tanks, well, it's going to be, that's a difficult position to attack on into as Cure is sitting on 6 tanks at the moment. Well, that is a rather strong defensive position, but look at this, we have a Warp Prism. They're warping in multiple warp-in rounds of Zealots here on the left-hand side. And I guess this is just to join the army. Now, these disruptors will not be all that successful, and with all these tanks spread on out here, that is a extremely difficult spot to attack on into. But, oh, okay, never mind. They were supposed to go into the 3rd base, but, well, there's this wonderful thing called a wall that they're going to have to fight through first. So pathing did make them not do that, but now they will find their way on in, and yeah, there are tanks firing, but that's not only going to last so long. Here's the charge slots will be able to get on top of the bunker, get on top of these tanks, and this is going to be some nice damage already. Now, we do have, of course, the army going on back, but the disruptor shot's going to go off. 1 tank goes down, only 2 tanks remain, and Patience doing a fantastic job of just slowly cutting away at what the Terran does have. Now, this is going to be a large portion of the army of Cure here that will be forced back to be defensive, but he will eventually be able to clean this up. But it's just multiple waves and waves and waves and waves of Zealots that are coming crashing on in, and now tanks are going to go on down once again. That disruptor shot's going to be massive, and Cure is once it really now starting to take some damage. Only 67 workers on the map, and this is a really nice position for his rally. So these Zealots will not get a whole lot more done here, especially down on upgrades compared to what Cure does have. But it looks like, was there a recall, I guess? Now, I think I need to question this a little bit from Patience. Maybe he's committing a little bit too hard, but he's continuing to get damage done. And he's continuing to get workers. So 30 workers have died in the span of the last minute, the last 45 seconds. And now, well, Cure, he's on 60 workers. Now, he does have mules, so not the end of the world. But Patience owns the left-hand side of the map at this point. Patience is on 5 bases, soon to be 6. And Cure's kind of stuck on 4, undermining it. So these EMPs will be able to force Patience back for the time being as well. They're Archons. Archons are the bulk of this army. And when you EMP them, well, they don't have any damage anymore. They don't have any shields anymore. So what is Cure going to do? He's going to turtle up a little bit. We have Liberator range on the way. We have more and more tanks on the way here. 3-3 is on the way as well. So Cure, he's going to play that TY style that has been so popular. Well, not even so popular, but TY kind of first started doing against Parting there on a Death Aura, where you go on in and you literally just build a lot of tanks, you turtle up, you take your 4 bases, you eventually get 5 bases, and you say, hey, Protoss, come attack on into me. We all know that's how that one's going to work on out there, and the answer is it doesn't, not when the tank's on the high ground. So, well, Patience is going to try to break Cure here, and Cure has a really healthy supply, even if he did lose significant numbers of workers. He was on 4 bases, he will be able to, he's going on to 5 bases now. So that is a pretty good job of being able to, well, keep things alive. Here's not Destructor Shell's going to go on off. But these tanks are really doing a really good job of making sure that it's really difficult to attack on in here. And now 1 tank will go down. Just only 1 tank defending things. We actually just might see Stalkers blink on top of that again. Because again, once the tanks go down, well, this is a lot easier of an army to fight as What is it? This is 5 total upgrades to 4, so Patience does have an upgrade lead. And he's taking more bases. He is taking more bases. He's not content with the amount of stuff that he does have, so he's going to go, why not get into a little bit more? Alright. But again, we do have the Stalkers here, and the tank has not really put itself into a fantastic position, and these are +3 Stalkers, so, well, the base will get heavily damaged at the very least. And, well, a bunch of DTs charged. You're going to find this left-hand side, but I love this actually for sure. This is an orbital, not a planetary. So, you can just kind of lift it up. It's not going to get targeted down by DTs blinking on top of it. And I think Patience has started to realize that, yeah, I've had a massive income advantage over the last portion of this game, but I'm not really trading all that well. Right, it's a 4K resource differential at the moment. And, well, it's time for me to go on into something a little bit more here. As actually, no, the Stalkers will be able to get that. There we go. The base does now go down. Yes, Patience. Or yes, yes, Cure, you did go for an orbital on your 4th base, and that does give you additional mules and makes it so you're less vulnerable to blink DTs, but, you just lost your 5th, and your 4-base Terran against a 1, 2, 3, 4 against a 7-base Protoss. So, that's the broadcast has to be 2 hours. That's just a Trovo partnership thing. But yeah, now we have Patience just getting all of the upgrades, +2 armor, +3 shields, +1 air attack on the way, and we're going to see carriers be the name of the game here for Patience. Is well, I think it's probably fair to say that he can, in fact, support 3 Stargates sitting here on 4,000 minerals a minute. Actually, not all that much gas. I don't think it doesn't look like he's mining from the, well, he's mining from the Ridge Vespine gas, but not mining from most of his outlying bases from a gas perspective at this point, which is totally fine. Right, he doesn't really need that here. As now the Liberators will siege on up, and Stalkers, well, they're going to try to knock down as many Liberators as they can before the EMPs and the army will force them back. And yeah, Cure, he's going into a massive Liberator fleet. At this point, he's going to make us all feel so free. But, I mean, carriers, they're really good against Liberators. Well, actually, no, are they? Right, if you get into, like, 10 Liberators, right, won't those just kind of immediately bop the Interceptors? Anyway, Stalkers are going to blink on forward here. Disruptor shots are going to go on off. But, well, there's just too much freedom here in the sky, so it's really difficult for these Stalkers to take this fight. Now, the really impressive thing, though, is look how... Oh, this one's going to be juicy. There we go. These Colossus on the map right now have survived this entire game, which is not something you see all that often when we're looking at a... Well, we're looking at a TVP. Generally, Vikings go on in, and you go on into Disruptors because the Colossus are just not nearly all that useful anymore. The Patience is going to try to wedge himself on in here, and will we see that base go down? Not really, but a lot of medevacs are going to go on down, and that's going to be nice because, again, Patience is now starting to trade a little bit more favorably. Colossus is actually firing strong at Stalkers. They're going to blink on forward here. All the Liberators on the right-hand side are going down, so this army of Cure is just falling apart. Maybe Patience doesn't even need this Carrier tech that he has teched on into, so he will be able to break the 4th base, and that means he will be able to break, or I guess the 3rd base. That does mean he will be able to break the 5th base here. Cure not even attempting to repair as the Stalkers do get on top of things, and yeah, it looks like all the Disruptors died, but that doesn't really matter. GG, Patience! He's going to take game number 2. Here we are spawning the upper right in the blue. He is representing Dragon Phoenix, or excuse me, Good Game Gaming. Give it up for Patience. And his opponent at the bottom right in the red, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the online master, he is Cure. And I love, again, I got a new computer, so I'm appreciating that right now, but like, I'm back on super high resolution, and like, you zoom in and you see like there's a 54 right there, which I don't think I had ever noticed. Little small details that make me rather happy indeed. His Patience looks like we're not going to see any shenanigans from him on this map. It's just going to be a next Cybercore Expand coming on down, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Patience won the game where he actually played a standard game, all right, where he didn't do anything too crazy. And he lost the game where he tried to do a proxy Stargate with a proxy gateway that didn't get anything done. So, Patience, by his calculus, says, yeah, if this game goes late, I'm probably favored, at least the way these first two games have gone. And I'm not going to say I disagree with that. Now, of course, Patience was able to defend the Hellion drop rather easily and was able to expand pretty quickly on top of that. So that was in his favor. And Cure is doing something rather interesting. This is something that I believe it's TY that I've seen do, where it is Marauder concussive shells, but I believe it, well, I should say, these are Marauder concussive shells, but they're out of Cure's base. And I believe he only makes 2 of them. But the goal here is when the Adept goes on in, when maybe a Scouting Stalker goes on in, and something like that, you're going to be able to ambush those, kill them off really quickly, and, well, maybe do something with that. So, notice, of course, we do have the Marauders in the hidden spot. Actually, no. Never mind, these are going to be some aggressive Marauders, I guess. Oh, never mind, they're going to find the Adept. And there we go, so a little bit of damage done, but the Adept is just going to go bypass them right here. And I feel like it's better to kind of sit up the ramp. So, yeah, and actually the Adept's going to start to do some damage anyways. So this is actually rather nice here for Patience. He's going to get an SCV, which, you know, not the end of the world, but we'll delay the natural for a bit. A natural that was, of course, already delayed because that natural did not get started until Concussive Shells was done. And yeah, the Adept doesn't take any damage. The Marauders were forced to run on back to deal with it. And now these 2 Adepts will be able to dive on in, and once again, we're going to see this base delayed. Now, of course, we do have the Marauders going on to the other side of the map, and that is going to be a problem here for Patience. Is, what is it, 3 Marauder shots that kill a probe, something like that? So, we're going to have to see how useful that is, but there's already a shield battery here, and there's 1 Adept is on the map. So, well, yeah, with this Oracle on out, these Marauders are just going to get targeted down rather quickly. And yeah, this is actually just getting 0 damage done for Cure at this point. Yeah, maybe he's going to try to get something done into the natural, but there's a shield battery, so that will be wholly unsuccessful. And now these Adepts are just denying this base for forever. So Cure, effectively, he's a 1 base 3 racks all in. Alright, now he will not be able to break on into the main base. Not really, but we're going to see double Oracle and a bunch of Adepts. So, wait, okay, wow, that actually, that Marauder finally did get 2 workers, as it was on, like, a 3rd HP. It was able to find a position where he was able to kill a couple workers. But now, well, we do have a couple more, we do have, what, the second Oracle's going to join the first here, but additional gateways are getting added, because I think Patience kind of realizes what's happening here. Now, he will be late on into Charge or something like that. And I would actually really like to see Charge first, not Blink. But, oh, it's going to be a Glaive Adept all in. That's pretty cool. Now, Glaive, of course, it's a rather fast upgrade to make, so that does mean that Glaives should be done by the time this timing does hit here, because make no mistake about it, Curie is going to get aggressive. He went 3 barracks before a factory. Factory's not even halfway done yet. And oh, look at that. That stasis is going to be rather nice. 3 workers will get delayed. But anyway, the gateways are going to be done by the time that Cure is halfway across the map. At this point, the gateways are just about done right now. And he will be able to warp in a ton of Adepts to make sure that he is absolutely safe here. Now, Glaive's not going to be done by the time this timing push hits, I don't think. But we will have plenty of Adepts here, and these Oracles will be able to stay alive. So, Adepts warping in on in. And how many do we have at the moment? Yeah, okay, Patience. Yeah, this is just a fake 3rd base. He says, look, yeah, 100%, I am going on in there. And I am absolutely macroing on up. I'm trying to take this game late, but that is not the case whatsoever. So these Adepts will find all of these Marines, and we'll be able to just knock down a bunch of them, as they're just going to kind of stim and run here. So a bunch of Marines will go on down, and that proxy gateway is done. Glaives are now done, and we're going to see, what is this, 7? Oh, okay, actually only 5. I thought it was more than that. 5 Adepts warped on in at a time here. So Marines are going to stem on top of this a little Adept army, but they're not going to take nearly as nice of a fight as they thought. Meanwhile, of course, the rest of the Adepts are going to come on in, dive on in behind this Marine army, and that will, actually no, they're just going to go on into the natural. As again, these Adepts took a fairly decent fight. It's not perfect, but it is fairly good. And there we go. The natural will be forced on up here, and the Adepts will find all of these SCVs. Shades of early legacy. We see right here as the Adepts will complete the shade. 6 more Adepts getting warped on in. And this is really starting to snowball here for Cure. Now, of course, Cure, if he is able to stabilize, if he's able to stay alive here, he's going to be rather happy. And I love this decision, actually. So, I think this is going to be Hellbats to hold this, as we do have an armory on the way, and we have Hellions on the way. 3rd base, by the way, just about done here for Patience. So, he's not so totally 100% all in on this. This is pressure, but he has already probably gotten what he wants here. Now the Adepts are going to, well, storm on everything once again. Just trying to knock down everything. Hellions not really able to take the shots that they want as more Adepts are finding their way on in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 workers will go down. But it looks like Cure has stabilized for the time being. He has enough Hellions here. He is getting the shots he wants. That it's going to be rather difficult for Patience to continue to take these fights. Now, with the rest of the Adepts coming on in, maybe, but now look at this. This is Hellbats, which does mean the the Widowmines, sorry, the Medivacs are going to do on even better, but it doesn't matter. There's just not enough here. It is one Medivac's worth of units that all that remain, and 10 workers have died. Cure just slowly starting to die. His natural base is starting to bleed out. His natural command center is starting to burn here, and that's a little bit scary of an idea. Now we will have all these depth. They're going to warp on in, and they actually will be able to knock that the supply depot down. So that does give them the opportunity to shade on in and put that next shade and really just jump on top of this army. And yeah, Hellbats are a really cool answer, but I think it's just a matter of quantity versus quality here. And there is just too much here for Patience. He's going to go on in, and all of the SCVs are going to get pulled to deal with this, which actually does mean that Cure is going to take a rather nice fight. But again, +1 is going to get started on in. Blink is going to be on the way behind this, and 9 more workers go down. Actually, that's just a lot of Stalkers at this point. So Stalker Adept now. And ever so slowly, Cure is just bleeding out. Patience now up 26 workers compared to his opponent. That's a lot. Make no mistake about it, that is a lot. All right, so Blink just about done here, and with multiple rounds of Adepts warping on in, I wouldn't even mind seeing the Stalkers go on in and just try to target these Medivacs down. That will knock down a lot of the longevity of this army. And well, Patience, he's roughly even on army supply at this point, but again, he has a lot more behind. He's a lot more where that came from. So Stalkers will be able to knock down one Medivac. Okay, one Medivac getting very low. But it does appear that Cure has stabilized from a, well, you're not going to get on into my natural anymore. But now Blink is done. +1 is on the way, and the Stalkers will be able to take some really advantageous trades, because they're just going to be able to kite out these Hellbats. And well, once the Hellbats are dead, these Adepts are going to fight a whole lot better here. There we go. We're going to see Patience take it in 9 minutes off of a really cool build in game number 3. So it's going to be Patience versus Innovation. More PvT.